Round number 6 of the ENEA Farewell Series from virtual Talladega Super Speedway. I'm Rick James here to bring you uninterrupted green flag coverage of all 94 laps of action. ENEA knockout starting on the pole in car 17 to his outside. ENEA Shotgun playing the role of pace car once again. Big shout out to Shotgun for everything he does. Big shout out to Bama Trama as well. Mama Val's glad to have you here. Sir Brunson in the Star-Spangled Wienermobile on the outside. KFB starting third behind one of his ENEA compatriots up front in the 17. The Real MT on the outside of row number 1 in the number 37. Maxwell House Chevrolet getting ready to turn these cars loose. Everybody loves super speedway action, and we're about to get our fill. Annihilator to the inside in the 8. PTH the GOAT on the outside lane in the 18. Pedigree Camry waiting for the signal. Cars anxious to go. 17 car ahead of the 37 coming to the line. Green flag is out, and we're racing at Talladega. First lap complete. At the front, it's still car 17, ENEA Knockout leading Tenacious Z on the outside, and the number 13, Spooky Geico Chevrolet. Then you've got Stout Whiskey in the 2. He's ahead of last week's winner, CGMX Rose, in car 42. Honestly, you're bad in the number 4 car, trying to get up there towards the top of the field. Top Esports is in the chat. Gotta send my love to my man, Terry Radford, but of course, my number 1, Mama Vols, in the chat. How are you, ma'am? Send my love all to the Radford clan. And already, ENEA Hound Dog out of this race in car number 3. At the front, however, it's still the 17 of ENEA Knockout, CGMX Rose at the tail end of this one, ahead of Annihilator in the 48. Look out for the 42 and the 48, because if those two get hooked up, kiss the race goodnight. The 5 of More Smoke behind the 77 of Word Burton, who's following the 10 of Pot Pie and Dip, makes a triumphant return. Ford, your top 3. Then you've got Timmy Moore in the 77, the first Chevrolet. Who's going to be the first to jump to the outside? Number 43, Cash App Chevrolet. At the front, it's still Knockout. He's led every single lap so far. Here comes KFB to the outside. Knockout throws the block at the front. The 10 car of Pot Pie and Dip following that outside train. But now here comes Tim Moore in car 77 with support from More Smoke. Those two bow ties, nose to tail, trying to get an advantage on the inside line, just on the right side of your frame. 77 and 5 linked together. 5 strong with the 32 of C. Johnson, now trying to make that outside move, and look at them go. The 6 now trying to join this train as well. There's Sir Brunson in that Oscar Mayer car. Let's ride along in the Star Spangled Wienermobile. New leader for the first time today in car 77, it's Tim Moore, a.k.a. Word Burton, now at the helm. He's got the 5 behind him. The 13 car also joining this pack as well. Talking about Tenacious Z into that green Geico Chevy behind him, Drew LMAO, and then it's the 4 of Honestly You're Bad. Now everyone trying to shift momentum to that inside line. That's where they want to be. 77, 5, 13, your top 3. Chevy on the podium. C. Johnson losing the plot altogether. The number 32 Dryden Ford just wasted by himself. PTH the GOAT rocking that yellow pedigree Camry. He's now behind the 42 and the 48 partnership. Those two have not broken stride. Now they've met up with the 12 of KFB 18, and they've caught up to the 2 of Stout Whiskey. And now they're starting to break apart. The 12 goes high. 24 of Catchdog goes to block, but he can't stop the momentum from car 17. The 2 of Stout Whiskey leading that secondary pack, headed into the 3rd corner. 2:17.10 on this second pack. The 4 of Honestly You're Bad going all too high. Maybe he's trying to really get these guys to get up to the back of this lead pack, or he's just headed toward the back. Probably trying to save some resources, some tires, some fuel. Bit of a lag spike from that 2 car knocks this train back a bit, but they've caught that draft. 21 laps remain in the opening stage. Still Word Burton at the front, but now Stout Whiskey mounting a charge on the outside. He's got help from ENEA Knockout in the 17. Pot Pie and Dip in the 10. Looking at the 48 of the Aviator, who's now been separated from his drafting partner, CGMX Rose. That 2 Discount Tire Mustang, the wedge between the 42 and the 48 Camaros. Single file top 6, but now they break out into 3 wide, funneling into turn number 1. Tenacious Z still sitting in 3rd. The 8 of Annihilator, now with help from the 10 of Pot Pie and Dip to the inside of ENEA Knockout. Everybody desperate to get to that inside line. And they file down there, single file, all top 10. There's the real MT in the 37, started 2nd in that Maxwell House Chevy, completely lost the draft, and he's been left out to dry. Only a caution can help him now. LXTX in the 43. Slow with no draft, but he's trying to catch up to C. Johnson in the 32, possibly to form an alliance there. The 12 of KFB 18, he's got help from the 18 of PTH the GOAT. Here they come on the outside using that draft. They've got a big head of steam. They're 5 cars strong on the top lane. $77, $5, $20, your top 3 now. There's your pole sitter, ENEA Knockout, wedged between a couple of cars, trying to stay out of that vacuum hole. 12 laps underway and 18 remaining in this first stage of Talladega racing. Caution free so far in these first 12 laps. ENEA Knockout sitting in the 10th position behind Annihilator, rocking it out in that 8 car. There's the 17 of Knockout trying to go to the outside. Nobody's going to go with him, and he's almost knocked himself out of top 10 contention. Luckily, he sneaks back in. Here comes Catchdog 70 in the 24. The 10 of Pot Pie and Dip trying to get out there and get the 17 to go with him. Nothing doing. Drew LMAO trying the same strategy, but no room to race on the outside, and nobody will go with him. Drew LMAO now trying to get back to the inside line, but he can't find any respite whatsoever. 20 car to the outside of the 8 and the 17 respectively. There goes Catchdog in the 24, and he's losing so many spots behind him. This is not the way he wanted to start his race. Luckily, it's only stage 1, so much more to go. More smoke in the 5 now. Sitting behind Word Burton in car 77. Looking at the point standings coming into this race, a more smoke. Not used to being this deep in the points, but certainly nothing that he can't get himself out of. It is, after all, a plate race. He comes in 5th in the points standings with 157 markers. He is down 27 markers to PTH the GOAT. Not normally used to being 27 points off the lead, but here he is drafting with Tim Moore, aka Word Burton. Word already has a win this season in that 2 car, and he's looking to get a 2nd. But if you look at 4th place, last week's winner, CGMX Rose in the number 42, Credit One Bank Chevy, has made his way up to the 4th position, and sitting in 6th is the 48 of the Aviator. Both of these drivers with a win this season, running 8th and 7th respectively, coming into this race, really looking for an advantage or just some sort of guarantee that they'll make it to the end. Pot Pie and Dip 9 in that 10 car. Drafting behind the 12 of KFB 18. Plenty of time for these guys to get that outside lane going. There's the 8 car of Annihilator. He's going to the high side there, not sure what he's trying to pull off. Meanwhile, Pot Pie and Dib with a great draft up on that 12 car. They're starting to squeeze that middle section of this front pack. More smoke, diligently sitting behind the leader. Here's CGMX Rose looking for some fresh air. Rosie, getting his second win last week, has elevated himself up to 6th in the points with 184 markers. He's only 4 off of race leader Word Burton, and there's cars that are going squarely behind him. The 6 has gone haywire. There is the 48. He's had to check up and go high to avoid all of this calamity. The 17 of ENEA Knockout next up ahead for the Aviator, and here he comes with a great push from the 6. The Aviator trying to catch up to this draft. Hopefully they don't leave him behind. 17 laps underway of the first 29 in stage number 1. Drivers racing down for their tires, for their fuel. Word Burton, one of the biggest losers on that when you saw he lost 2 positions on his way in. The 42 and the 48 of CGMX Rose and the Aviator respectively, beating the 77 down pit road. Everybody coming on down, and that's going to make your new leader Tenacious Z in the number 13 Geico Chevrolet. KFB in second. You're looking at ENEA Knockout, who's worked his way up to 3rd, and you can see these drivers signaling that they want to come down pit road for tires and fuel. This would be their only stop of stage number 1. 204 plus, barreling into turn number 3. Will all the leaders come down this time? No. Only the 13 of Tenacious Z coming down pit road, and that is not what he wanted to see. New leader KFB 18 in the 12. 3 Fords on the podium now. They cross the line, and we're going to have 10 to go next time by. How much time will these leaders have lost? There's Word Burton, who's drafting with the 18 of KFB. Will they stay behind these two? No. Instantly darting to the outside line, scrubbing off speed, but will they beat the Delta? Will they come down this time by? Tires not so important, just the organization of your drafting partners. How much time can you gain staying out on the racetrack, and this pack will stay out once again. 10 laps to go in this opening stage. Drivers, this lead pack of drivers, not including the 18 and the 77 on the back end, should be coming down this time for fuel. They can't go any further than about 17, 18 laps at a stretch. KFB 18 leading ENEA Knockout, then the 6 car of Annihilator running 1, 2, 3. Getting ready to come down pit road. They must be careful not to run over each other. A speeding penalty at this point could mean being trapped a lap down. Here they come. Oh, that 12 car came in awfully hot there. You can see the gap that he extended over the 17. Got to keep your eye on that 12, but more importantly, where are the 48 and the 42? They're going to be the ones that are looking for that advantage. New leader, however, is going to be, well, no, that's, I'm sorry, the 18's getting his lap back. Here's that first pack that came down pit road. Tenacious Z does end up hooking up with this draft here, but it's the 5 of Amore Smoke who's now slated to take the lead. The 42 of CGMX Rose sitting in the 2nd position. Here they come to overtake car 17, who's just left pit road. 8 laps to go next time by. The 17 of ENEA Knockout exits pit road in such a quick fashion. Back to the 17 car. There's ENEA Knockout, still accelerating. Here comes that high-speed cavalry. Big push from the 6, but the lead pack won't get there in time. Enters pit road in the top 5, leaves pit road in the top 5. Amazingly timed pit stop delta. ENEA Knockout still your leader, coming to 8 to go in the opening stage, but here comes a more smoke to the outside, 3 wide for second. The 6 car of the Annihilator on the inside trying to lead the lap. Drag race between the Fords to the line, 17.642, your top 3, 7 to go. Next time around, and they're 2x2, 3 rows deep for the lead at Dega. 6-2-13, your top 3 now. The 17 of ENEA Knockout has to check up, now being split. He's in the vacuum hole down the back. The Aviator to the outside. The 42 car of CGMX Rose going with the 48. 3 cars at the front, no momentum, top side. 17 now closing the gap, and ENEA Knockout will fill in that 4th position. 7 to go in stage 1 this time. Knockout comes into this race 12th in points with 4 rounds remaining, including this one, so almost 3.5 races remaining. He's got to have a good points day, and this could be that catapult that puts him into the top 10 and beyond for the remaining 4 rounds. The 17 of ENEA Knockout looking for a move to the high side. Right now, he doesn't need to go anywhere. It will be 7 laps remaining at the line. They could comfortably ride around and just wait for the last couple of laps of the stage, but will they? How bad do they want to save their stuff? 6 to go that last time they crossed the line. 5 next time by. Who will make the first jump? Sir Brunson leading this race in the number 6 Star Spangled Ford. There you can see cars behind him weaving left and right, looking for that jump, looking for that advantage to the lead. Car 17, ENEA Knockout, with help from Annihilator in the 8, trying to take down the 6-2 combo of Sir Brunson and Stout Whiskey. It'll be 5 to go this time by. Fans at home, at the end of stage number 1, we're going to take a 30-second break so we can be ad-free for the next 10 minutes. And then we will bring you the start of stage number 2, so don't go anywhere. You're going to want to see this, but we still have 4.5 laps to go that distance. The 6 of Sir Brunson ahead of Stout Whiskey. ENEA Shotgun says, good racing so far. You better believe it, Shotty. 6-2-13, your top 3. Big shout out to ENEA Shotgun playing the role of pace car. You'll see his magenta colored Toyota Camry on the inside of pit road, just waiting for the next caution. Crossing the line, we've got 4 laps to go now. The 6 of Sir Brunson still leading this race. The 2 of Stout Whiskey in second. There's poor KFB 18, who spent the majority of stage number 1 in the top 5. And now he's got no draft help at the back. The Maytag Menards Ford has a lot of work to do. Here's the best of the rest. LXTX in the Cash App Chevy ahead of the 37. The 32 of C. Johnson and the 4 of Honestly You're Bad in that pack as well. Back to this lead fight. Now we've got even fight on both sides. The high side with 3 Chevrolets. The low side with a Ford and a couple of Fords and a bow tie as well. 3 laps to go in this opening stage. The 77 and 18 left out to dry. They're going to need a new pit strategy in stage 2. Here comes Ward Burton coming to pit road. It'll be 3 laps to go this time by for the 77. 2 to go next time by. so I don't know if the rules say anything about pitting coming to 3 laps to go. Technically, it's 4 to go for Ward Burton, so there shouldn't be any rule infraction. What a way to play the game. But now at the front, it's the 6, the 2, the 13 on the inside line, trying to stave off the 5, 42, 48 trifecta of Amore Smoke, CGMX Rose, and Annihilator. But the 2 of Stout Whiskey immediately jumps to the outside line. Coming to the line, it's going to be 5, 6, 2, your top 3. The top 8 cars separated by 0.2 of a second. White flag next time by in the opening stage. It's a drag race between Amore Smoke on the outside and Sir Brunson on the inside. The 8 car of Annihilator getting way too squirrely, trying to hold on to that race car there. There's the Aviator in the 48 behind the 42. Will there be any late stage drama coming from the Ally car? Ward Burton's gone for a spin immediately after leaving pit road, losing time there. Hopefully, Ward doesn't lose a lap. That would throw off his entire strategy. Coming to the white flag now. 2.67 miles remain in stage number 1, and it's the Freightliner Chevy of Amore Smoke leading Stout Whiskey in the Discount Tire Ford, and the Star-Spangled Wienermobile Mustang of Sir Brunson sits in 3rd. Chevy, Ford out of the second corner. Someone's got to jump here, and Tenacious Z looking for the move. Stout Whiskey with just no draft help. Tenacious Z not pushing that inside line. Here comes the 6 of Sir Brunson, jumps to the outside, and nobody's going to go with him. Now the 42 of CGMX Rose, last week's winner, moves into the 3rd position. Chevy, Ford, Chevy, your top 3 out of the 4th corner. The 5 of Amore Smoke is now going to do some mirror driving all the way to the line. 5, 2, 42. Here comes CGMX Rose looking for a move. That's going to do it for Stout Whiskey, and it's Amore Smoke who will collect the checkered flag and win stage number 1 of the 6th round of the di9 Designs Farewell Series. Don't go anywhere, fans. We'll be back in 30 seconds for the start of stage number 2. Getting ready to kick off stage number 2 with Amore Smoke at the helm, waiting for that 5 car to get that signal and get moving. There he is. Green flag is out in stage 2. First lap complete, and they have not broken formation. Still 2 by 2, 5, 6 rows deep out of the second corner, and a stout drag race between the 5 and the 42. of a More Smoke and CGMX Rose. You see a bit of a lag spike from car number 2, forcing the 6 to check up, headed into turn 3. Rosie with the advantage. Here comes Smoke with the shorter route around the corner, but of course it's all about the draft help at Daytona and Talladega. Coming to the line, a More Smoke still leading in this second stage of racing. Drivers have 25 circuits remaining in stage number 2. But of course, if it goes green the whole way, they will need a green flag pit stop. These boys can't make it more than 18 or 19 laps on one tank of fuel, depending on how hard they're saving. That could come into play late in stage 3, but for now, it's still a battle for that top spot. Although the 42 seems to have lost the majority of his up-close support, the 2 of Stout Whiskey needing to get back into his wake, while the 6 of Sir Brunson also needing to fill that gap behind them. For the moment, it's 5, 17, 10, your top 3, 24 laps remain in stage 2. Pot Pine Dip 9 in the number 10 car comes into this race 20th in the point standings, and by now it seems like it could just be a run for pride for Pot Pie, but showing a great display of talent. And it's one of the things that I love about plate racing, is that really anybody gets a chance to have a good run or even win a race. And there, look at the 8 of Annihilator into the wall and trailing back. There you see him on the tail end, losing that draft, and without a caution, that could be Annihilator's stage over and done with. The number 8, IamSecond.com Chevy Camaro with 23 laps to go. No friends on the racetrack, and he looks lonelier than a tree in a barren field in the middle of the savannah. Annihilator out to dry. Tenacious E13 trying to get up through the field as well. He sits 22nd in the points, this being only his 3rd start in this campaign, so you can't blame him for being down in the running order, but he'll wish he was racing more often if he manages to pull off a podium finish today. Can't say enough for Stout Whiskey right now, sitting 7th in the point standings. You see the green around his name, and of the other 3 drivers above him in the standings, that indicates they have all won a race in the races previous to this. So Stout Whiskey coming in with an average of 41 points a race, well off the average of 46 that Rose gets ahead of him. However, these 2 drivers only separated by 21 points. Single file now for most of these drivers, but you better believe they've had time to think about when they need to make their move and how this particular race could impact those standings. The number 4 Mobil 1 Mustang of Honestly You're Bad riding behind the 17 of ENEA Knockout. You see Drew LMAO in the 20 Stanley Camry trying to get a run going on the outside. Ward Burton's going with him. So is the 6 of Sir Brunson. In 2nd place for the first time today, it's the Aviator in the number 48 Ally Chevrolet, and he makes it a Chevy threesome at the front of this field. All bow ties leading the way, coming to the last 19 laps of stage 2. Laps, 19 next time by. The 24 of Catchdog 70 makes his way into the top 5, and Ward Burton's trying to make his way further up the field, but LXTX gets the advantage to his inside. Ward Burton now drafting with Drew LMAO. Let's ride along with Tim Moore in the number 77 Advent Health Machine. here just how much these drivers have to check up. Drew LMAO jumps to the outside, and Tim's going with him. That's going to allow Sir Brunson in the number 6 to suck up to the inside line, but he chooses to shoot to the outside. But it's a Toyota, Chevy, Ford trio on that high side that's going to slowly drift to the back like Tokyo Drift, playing at half the speed. They're going to go all the way to the back. Just not enough help on that high side. CGMX Rose in the 42 car now breaking his way into the top 10. He's got help from the 32 of C. Johnson. Stout Whiskey's up ahead. It'll be 17 to go next time. And drivers are going to need to start thinking about these pit stops, who they're going to draft with, who they're going to make pit stops with. In that first stage, we saw 2 successful factions of racing split about 5 and 6 cars apiece. A lot of strategy and a lot of opportunity for drivers to make their way through this field. We'll see where the pit stops end up landing some of these drivers, but again, the magic number is about 18 laps, so the pit window does now open this time across. Amore Smoke has led every lap of stage 2. Big lag spike from car 18 there, right into the 20. Both of those Gibbs machines with a moment. The 42 going high and leaving a gap on that inside line. CGMX Rose drifting back. He gets right in front of Drew LMAO in that 20. That's going to advance the 18 of PTH the GOAT up a spot. Your pole sitter, Knockout, now behind Word Burton. 15 to go next time around. Drivers starting to get cagey. Space starting to run out. You saw the 37 of the Real MT have to go high and check up. LXTX now catches him and will push him along down this back straight. KFB 18 drafting with Stout Whiskey in that 2. Will these Fords make a move to break that Chevrolet monopoly at the front? Couple of Roush Fords nose to tail behind that Germain Racing 13. 15 to go in stage number 2. Drivers all single file. They're in fuel saving mode now, trying to get the most out of these hot rods. If you've just joined us, I'm Rick James, bringing you uninterrupted green flag coverage of the ENEA Farewell Series, brought to you by di9 Designs. This is round 6 from virtual Talladega Super Speedway. And so far, it's been a race full of lead changes and pit strategy. The 42 of the Aviator up into the wall right before pit stop cycles, and that's going to cause a rift between the top 4 and the rest of the field. KFB leading the charge with a big push from PTH the GOAT. You see Drew LMAO getting stacked up behind him. Lucky number 13, laps to go next time around. How will that affect draft partners and pit stops now? Big slingshot opportunity there. Heavy contact from the 2 and the 12. Not sure what's going on here, but KFB and Stout Whiskey having some harsh words down that back straight. You can see there's already been a split between the pack and the 4 behind them. That's the 4 of Honestly You're Bad. The 37 of the Real MT were with LXTX. He sits above the Aviator in car 48, and C. Johnson in the 32, who looks like he may have just DNF'd. And he has indeed. C. Johnson with the second DNF of the race with 13 laps remaining. Car 13, Tenacious Z in the second position. He's been drafting all stage long with the 5 of Amore Smoke and the 24 of Catch Dog. You can only surmise now that they must pit together in order to maintain the status quo at the front. Stout Whiskey, will he be the wrench in the Chevrolet plan? He's got last week's winner, Luis Zeiter, in that number 42 behind him. The 42 of CGMX Rose sitting 6th in the point standings, only 4 markers behind Ward Burton, who's fallen off the pace, and he's only 7 points behind his good friend the Aviator, who's now dropped back outside of this lead pack. This could be a leapfrog kind of day for CGMX Rose. And Stout Whiskey, who sits in 7th, 21 points behind. The aforementioned Aviator running well outside the top 10. Here's Ward Burton, he's sitting in the 8th position. He's got the 17 of ENEA Knockout behind him. Car's getting a bit squirrely, not sure where to go at this point in time. We were just talking about Rosie. He's sitting behind Stout Whiskey in the top 5. 11 laps remaining. It will be 10 to go next time by. That's when the pit window opened for these drivers, so expect those floodgates to open and we'll get a mess of drivers coming down pit road. Is anybody going to flex that pit road muscle? Nope, everybody's staying out, coming to 10 laps to go. So now it's become a guessing game for these drivers. You can see them starting to get squirrely at the front. Everybody's looking for their pit partner. Amore Smoke leading just a single line of hungry jackals that want to rip that 5 car out of the lead position, but still so much race remains. 206 out of turn number 2, and here comes Tenacious Z, almost trapping himself with no draft help on the outside. Catchdog 70 in the 24 car. Running third, you can see the Camry of Drew LMAO on the outside. He's got help from Ward Burton in the number 77 Camaro. There go the 24, there goes the 2, here comes a mess of leaders coming down pit road. Amore Smoke coming down awfully fast, entering 4 wide down pit road. We may have penalties, but at the front it's Tenacious Z, now your new leader at Talladega. Chevy, Toyota, Chevy, now the trio at the front. Will they all pit together? Do they dare pit separately? And there goes the 77 signaling his intent as well, so it does look like these 3 will take that advantage and come down pit road. Here's the scramble on the way out. It's going to be 5-2-42, Amore Smoke, Stout Whiskey, and CGMX Rose, the first 3 out of pit road. Drivers cross the line now, and these leaving pit road have 9 laps to go. But the current leaders of this race wreck on the way in. There's the 77 of Ward Burton, who's just gone for a spill. Just 1 car involved, and so far, no yellow. There's the 13 of Tenacious Z by himself. The 20 of Drew LMAO, now both with no speed whatsoever. There is the damaged Ward Burton, who's going to lose insane amounts of time crashing at the entrance of pit road, and all those 3 cars that did not pit in serious trouble now. It's Amore Smoke, CGMX Rose, and Stout Whiskey, your top 3. The tail end of that podium being accompanied by the 24 of Catchdog 70. 20 laps underway, and it's 8 to go in stage 2. There is Ward Burton finally coming down pit road, but he will surely go a lap down, and this is going to really shake up the point standings. Seven to go in this second stage of racing. Friendly reminder to all the fans watching, we're going to take a 30-second break at the end of stage 2. We're going to keep the race ad-free for the next 10 minutes after that. We're going to bring you the start of Stage 3 and the conclusion of di9 Design's ENEA Farewell Series from Talladega. But we still got to get through the end of this one. Back at the front of this race, 5:42 to your top three. Let's go back for the other three, the 20 of Drew LMAO. No, I'm sorry, here's your lead pack right here. I apologize, it's 5:42-2. There's Drew LMAO in the 20. No draft help whatsoever. The 13 of Tenacious Z, also nowhere to be found. There's the Real MT with no draft help. Annihilator also by himself. All of these cars going to finish super far down in this second stage order, and it's a grand shame, especially this great-looking number 13 with no draft help. The Real MT up behind him. It would serve both of these drivers well to catch up to each other and draft their way through to the end of the second stage. It's not over until it's over, but you cannot be competitive without draft help, and everybody, especially those that are by themselves, know that. The 42 of CGMX Rose, though, relinquishing his second position to go to the tail end of this lead pack. 5 car still leads. It's the 2 of Stout Whiskey that's in second. Catchdog 70 is in third. We've got 5 to go in stage 2. Been a caution-free race so far. Catching up to lap traffic here, the 2 of Stout Whiskey riding behind the 5 of A More Smoke, coming to 4 to go next time by. Here is this secondary pack of cars. They are 6 hot rods strong. Going back up to the leaders, they're only 4 cars strong. So the 6 obviously moving at a faster clip than these lead 4, but do they have enough time to get to the front? We're about to find out. They cross this line. 24 laps now underway, and it's 4 laps to go in the second stage. You can see that these drivers really have the competition breathing down their neck, but they're catching up to Annihilator in that number 8 car. Tanner Lockhart piloting the IamSecond.com Chevrolet. Will he get out of the way? And there's one car that's gone around. It's the 6 of Sir Brunson, who's gone for a spill. Scrolling back to the field looking for the 6 car. There is Sir Brunson, just losing it by himself. We will remain caution free. There's KFB watching this lead pack get around those leaders. A More Smoke still leading. 3 laps to go, but now Stout Whiskey with a run on his outside, and he will not take advantage. Stout dips back in line. (5:2:24), still your top 3. 2 laps to go this time by. Stage number 1 came down to what was almost a photo finish, but I believe it was A More Smoke that took that stage 1 victory. It was the 2 of Stout Whiskey that had finished second. Will it be the same result this time around? 2 to go in stage number 2, and now the 2 car of Stout Whiskey has to plan his attack. He's got a little bit of help from his friends behind him, but can he get by with a little bit of help from his friends? The 24 of Catchdog 70 riding along in third. That HendrickCars.com Chevrolet is controlling everything. The 2 needs the 24's help to get by, or the 42 could go behind him, and there's cars wrecking behind him. The 17 is end over end barrel rolling down the back straightaway. We stay green in stage number 2, catching up to the 17 car. May have passed him. There's ENEA Knockout now accelerating down the back straight. No yellow flag. We're coming to the white in stage 2, and we're still racing. Back to the leaders now. 2.5 miles remain. Stage 2 going to come to another thrilling finish. Another reminder, fans, we're taking a 30-second break at the conclusion of the stage. That's Pot Pie and Dip 9 in the Smithfield Ford racing ahead of this lead pack. 5-2, 24, your top three. 10 car looks like he may not be a factor. Stout Whiskey, will he make a move for the stage win? Will the 24 go with him? Tri-oval remains. Here come the leaders. Here comes Stout Whiskey to the outside. He's got help from the 24. Catch Dog now to his inside, but it won't be enough. It's going to be the 5 of a More Smoke who once again collects that stage win. Drag race between the 24, the 42, and the 2 for that second place finish, but it is a More Smoke once again getting that stage win. He'll be driving for the cycle coming up in stage number 3. Don't go anywhere, fans. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Turning these drivers loose at the start of stage number 3. It's a More Smoke to the inside, CGMX Rose to the outside. We are racing again at Talladega. First lap complete in this third stage. 31 laps remain. Drivers should be able to go the distance on one pit stop, but if it stays green, it's going to take conservation to make it all the way to the end. A More Smoke still leads this race in car number 5, looking to drive for the cycle and get his first win of this campaign. Only 4 winners so far in 5 races. CGMX Rose becoming our first repeat winner this season. Will he go again? He's looking for his 3rd win, trying to complete that hat trick, while other drivers, and look at the lag spike here. Big lag spike from the 24 and the 2 respectively. There you see the 20 of Drew LMAO not sure where to go. Cars stacking up everywhere. Everybody's on pins and needles, barreling out of 2. Car 48 now behind the 77, trying to get a good draft up to the 4 of Honestly You're Bad. More lag spike between them. It looks like possibly the 18 of PTH the GOAT could, I'm sorry, the 18, PTH the GOAT in the 18 car, possibly the instigator of these lag spikes, but we'll find out. Pole sitter knockout dropping well to the rear of the field. Not sure what's going on with that 17 car either. ENEA shotgun. Once again, shout out to this pink Camry. This guy's the man, posing as our pace car for the evening. It's been, honestly, had nothing to do, except for the opening pace lap. Shotgun's been a little lonely on the inside there. So thanks again, Shotgun, for being so patient. Hopefully these guys put you to work soon. Sir Brunson in the 6 car. Behind the 18, is this where the lag spikes are occurring? Keep your eye on that pedigree Toyota. Cars weaving all over the place. There's the 6 car of Sir Brunson, who's gotten into the wall. Not sure what that was a product of, but the 6 car now incredibly slow, and there goes the whole field behind him. No more draft for Sir Brunson. The 24 of Catchdog 70. Could that have been a lag spike there? There is a gap between the top 5 and the remainders. A connection issue somewhere between these drivers. We're 20 minutes to the 10 p.m. bump. And if you're not aware, right around 10 p.m., I don't know if it's a thing anymore, but it used to be a grand thing, something that you could count on. There's the lag spike right there from the 24. You just saw him, what they call donkey kick. The 12 of KFB 18. That could be potential damage to the front of that Maytag Ford. And a big shout out to Uncle Fry, who puts 10 bits in the chat. Love you, miss you, Unc. Send my love to the girls out there in NoCal. I hope everybody's doing well. The 5 of a More Smoke still leading the show. But here you see the big gap between car 24 and car 12. There's been some connection issues out of that 24 car, enough to keep an appreciable gap between himself and the cars behind him. Watch for a lag spike here through the corner. There is Catchdog 70. He's been muscled out of the way. More lag spikes for car 24, and as that 10 p.m. bump approaches, this could be quite the issue. Honestly, you're bad being shoved high, wide, and handsome out of the way. The Aviator now behind the 4 car. And it looks like yellow flag is out over the speedway, and it is first caution of the evening comes out on the racetrack. We're still ad-free for the next 4 minutes, 30 seconds. But there goes caution number 1, and finally a chance for these drivers to catch their breaths. We're going to have a shootout inside the final 25 laps to determine the winner of round 6. While we're here, got to give a big shout out to the folks over at di9 Designs, the Chase Elliott custom graphic design page on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at di9 Designs. They post graphics on all platforms multiple times a week, on top of taking requests on all types of logos, wallpapers, iRacing schemes, and more. Follow and DM them for more details as we go green. They're not affiliated with Hendrick Motorsports or Chase Elliott. Use their code DI9 Designs for free shipping on all diecast and merch over $20 on CircleBSales.com. KFB 18 to the front of the show. 72 laps underway of the scheduled 94. It'll be 22 laps to go next time by. 18 car leads with the 12 behind him. Drew LMAO sits in third on the inside line. John asks how Drew is running. He's 4th in line. He's behind the 12 car of KFB 18. It has not been a bad race for that 20 car of Drew LMAO. Coming into tonight's show, you can see that 20 car of Drew comes in 15th in points. He's tied with C. Johnson, who has DNF'd this evening. So Drew LMAO has a great chance to make up some spots. Drew Jua running that Stanley Camry with pride tonight. Although he is tied for that 15th position, he's only 5 points behind 14th and 11 markers behind the real MT. It could be another leapfrog day for yet another driver. That 20 car, he's got a chance to do something special. LXTX in the number 43, Cash App Chevy to the inside of Sir Brunson. That's for position. At the front, new leader, Ward Burton in car 77. Timmy Moore back at the helm. It's a Chevy, Toyota, Ford, top 3. 21 laps remain at the 2.67 mile Talladega Super Speedway. More lag spikes at the front with the 24 car, 2-0 to go. Next time by, Catchdog 70. Can he get this sorted before races end? Here's Honestly You're Bad. He sits ahead of that 24 car, and you can see the cars stacking up behind them here. The 37 of the real MT making his move to the outside, and he is now your new leader after a clever slingshot, getting around the 18 and the 77. Here comes the 10 of Pot Pie and Dip on the high side of the 12 and the 18, but there is no draft help. Now the 77 of Ward Burton trying to catch up to the 37 of the Real MT. No draft help for the Maxwell House Chevrolet. Here comes the Advent Health Camaro to his inside. He will tuck behind that 37 car. 19 at the line next time by. The Real MT has a fantastic lead at the front of this race. Just an unbelievable. How is he pulling away by himself this successfully? This is unbelievable. Like, genuinely, seriously, I am stunned. How has that 37 gotten such a massive lead? Right now, he sits as a sitting duck, but you are looking at your leader, the Real MT, in that 37 car. He has just muscled his way to a half-second lead, but now here comes the rest of the field catching that draft behind him. But what an impressive move to take that top spot. That could come in handy in these closing laps. LXTX in second, Annihilator runs in third, then you've got Pot Pie and Dip in fourth, but now look at them move on the outside line. The Real MT, no longer the new leader, but the 10 of Pot Pie and Dip left to hang dry. It's 43-37. Now the 10 car sneaks into that third place slot. Drew LMAO puts himself into fifth. Ward Burton, PTH, and KFB running 6th, 7th, and 8th respectively. 18 laps to go, and they still have one more pit stop to make from here. If you've recently joined us, I'm Rick James, bringing you uninterrupted green flag coverage of round 6 of the di9 Design Farewell Series. This race at virtual Talladega, just 3 more races to go, rounds 7, 8, and 9. Those tracks to be determined the days of, and we're getting ready to wave goodbye to NASCAR Heat 5. It's been a thrill over this last year, and we've got 3 more great races to go. But we still have a pit stop. We still have probably a couple of big ones to get through. It is Talladega after all. 17 to go. The 43 of LXTX still strong at the front. Tenacious Z, unfortunately, has DNF as well, and there you can see the Geico Chevrolet motionless and silent on pit road, as well as the 32 of C. Johnson and the 3 of ENEA Hound Dog. Those our first 3 DNFs of the evening. The Aviator drafting with Catch Dog 70 in the 24 car. It hasn't been Eli's night, but he still has plenty of race to get it done. Tim Moore, however, in that 77 car. Sitting behind the 20 of Drew LMAO, trying to crack that top 5. 15 to go next time by. LXTX still comfortably leading. A lot of the big players that we saw fighting for the lead in stages 1 and 2, not at the front right now. You can well, they're either on a fuel-saving strategy or they're trying to get with their favorite drafting partners, gearing up for the end of this race. It'll be 15 laps to go at the line, and the drivers have a choice to make now that the pit window has opened. But if a caution comes out, it could ruin their chances of great track position inside the final 10 laps of racing. The 10 of Pot Pie and Dip being shoved to the high side, and there's the wreck behind him. There's the caution they were all waiting for. Cars spilling around. The 18's gone around. There's the 24 of Catch Dog, who's into the 5 of a More Smoke, pirouetting down the back straight, and there is caution number 2. We're going to restart inside the final 15 13 laps of racing, and that's going to solidify the shootout. Everybody's going to come down pit road, and we are going to have an excellent finish to this race. Fuel mileage just went out the window. It's all about who you can draft with now. 10 seconds to green flag here. If we get one more caution, we will take a 30-second break to go ad-free to the end. We'll see just how long these pilots survive. Coming to the line for the best shootout you've ever seen. LXTX to the inside, KFB to the outside. Green flag is out, and we are racing at Talladega. .11 laps to go in this race, and the fans on their feet now. You can hear the excitement getting ready for this finish. Fans thrilled about the upcoming 10 laps of action. And there they go, 3 wide again out of turn number 2 at the back of this one. Everybody getting squirrely. Everybody trying to find their spot. LXTX coming to 9 at the line. The number 43 Cash App car, 17th in points coming into this race. What a boost this would be for him if he could secure a victory. But there's still more than 20 miles of racing between him and the checkered flag. In second, you've got the 4 car of Honestly You're Bad headed into today's event. Honestly You're Bad sits 3rd in points. He doesn't need to risk the win, but what will his competitors behind him do? Ward Burton sitting 5th in the point standings with 3 races remaining. Doesn't need to risk it, but then you've got the 6 car of Sir Brunson, 18th in points. A 4th place finish would be fantastic, but will he get greedy for more? He can see the victory. Everybody can taste it on their tongues, but when will they make that chess move? And will it be checkmate, or will they be another pawn cast out to the side? .43, 4, 77, your top 3, Chevy, Ford, Chevy. They're scrambling at the back, and nobody's even called the Jets. Everyone's got enough fuel and tires to go this distance inside the final 10 laps of racing now. 43, 4, 77 remains your top 3. Sir Brunson sits in 2nd. We're going to have 7 to go next time by. 43 checking up the field, bottlenecking behind him. 43 trying to protect that run. 4 doesn't dare go to the outside. It's going to be a game of chicken the longer these drivers wait. Someone needs to make that move eventually, but it's Ward Burton in car 77 who holds all the aces. Does the 77 stick with the 43? Does he go with the 4? If that Mobil 1 Mustang decides to make a move for first. 7 laps remain, just over 15 miles of racing to go. The real MT. In car 37, the Michigan pilot was dumped behind. He went a lap down, but here he is in the top 5. We saw him pull out a brilliant slingshot move that saw him get ahead of the pack by more than half a second, and they're wrecking behind them again. The 18 gets back onto the racing surface. Everybody saves it. Everybody consciously moves to the high side. KFB 18 not collected, not a casualty, and that pedigree Camry still barking from the back end. He's got fight left in him. 6 circuits remain. Riding along now with second place. Honestly, you're bad. You just saw the 12 car come back up onto the apron. That's KFB 18 being left without a draft partner. Rocky's in the chat. Rock NASCAR 388 says keep on digging, drivers. Rock, they have been digging for a solid hour 15, and now it's gotten down to the nitty gritty in round 6 of 9. 4 to go next time by, and all eyes on car 4. Where will Honestly You're Bad choose to make his move, and now they're wrecking behind him. 17 flying through the air, cars going everywhere, and the yellow flag does come out for the 3rd time today. 30-second break, and we'll be ad-free for the conclusion of round 6. The 3 favorite colors of every neutral race fan: green, white, and black. The green-white checkered is out. The 43 doesn't go. He does not move. Everybody moving around behind him with 2 more laps to race. The 43 just not going. Look at the calamity behind him. What is happening? Everybody, look at this mess behind them. Lag spikes galore. And on the green-white checkered in this race, I can't, can you describe this? Look at this farce. This is quite literally a farce that I honestly hope this is just on my screen, because this is ridiculous. This is far and away the most ridiculous thing I've seen on a green-white checkered. White flag is coming out. Cars wrecking all over the place behind them. This really only has to be on my screen and nobody else's, right? Because this is insane. This is unbelievable. There's the 17 flipping through the air. They're wrecking behind him. The 43 of LXTX is leading this race. And while the other cars are going fine, the 43 of LXTX continuing to lead, everybody else doing fine, so this really is on my end, but now they're settling out as they come around turn number 4. Word Burton to the outside, LXTX to the inside. It'll be a drag race to the line. They touch. 77 to the high side, 43 to the inside, and it's Word Burton in a photo finish who gets the win over LXTX at the line. What a way to end round 6. And thankfully, those glitches are just on this end here, but it's Ward Burton beating LXTX by a tenth of a second. Honestly, You're Bad comes home in third. Then it's Stout Whiskey, The Real MT, Catchdog, Drew LMAO in seventh, KFB, CGMX, Rose, and ENEA Knockout rounding out the top 10. Folks, don't go anywhere. That has to be one of the most hilarious finishes I've ever seen. And we'll have podium interviews in just a moment. Now on the podium with our top three, starting with the four of Honestly, You're Bad coming in third. Honestly, man, great finish there. Did you think third place was possible when you started the night?
Yeah. First, I'd like to thank you, Rick James, for doing the broadcast for us. Hopefully, that was fun watching. I'd like to thank ENEA for setting this whole thing up. Man, the beginning of the race was so frustrating because I'm good at these plate tracks. I was lagging. I felt really bad. I had to drop to the back. Guys in my party, I couldn't really tell if I was lagging or not. They wouldn't tell me. And I just guessed because guys behind me would fall back, and I was like, yeah, I'm definitely lagging. At the end, I feel bad for whoever I lagged into or whatever I did, but I just tried my hardest. I I think it was stage two. I was overthinking. I was like, I'm really out here, no draft, just coasting it. Do I really need to do this race? But I'm glad I stayed in it. Got another top three, two in a row. That's good momentum for us. And yeah, that was a whole lot of fun.
Congratulations on that third place finish. LXTX, you came home in second after leading the last about 7 or 8-ish laps of that race, man. Talk about that last lap. You almost had it in the bag.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna get a push from Ward because he's in Discord talking about how he already won and stuff, but I completely understand the pull out. That was a really fun race. I was just happy to be up there because normally I just cruise around in the back and try and mind my own business, but that's the beauty of Talladega. You get to run up in the front from pretty much any position.
A thrilling points day for you, my friend, and it'll be a chip on your shoulder next week. Congratulations on your silver medal.
Thank you. Thanks for broadcasting.
Our winning interview brought to you by the good folks over at di9 Designs, the Chase Elliott custom graphic design page on Twitter, Facebook, and Insta at di9 Designs. They post graphics on all platforms multiple times a week on top of taking requests on all types of logos, wallpapers, iRacing schemes, and more. Follow and DM them for more details. They are not affiliated with Hendrick Motorsports or Chase Elliott. Be sure to use code DI9Designs for free shipping on all diecast and merch over $20 on CircleBSales.com. And now the winner. Driver of the number 77 Advent Health Chevrolet Camaro with his second victory in 6 races. Timmy Moore, Ward Burton, what a way to get win number 2.
Thank you, Rick. This race was just so up and down because in the first stage we pitted twice to try to get extra tire pressures in, and at stage two we got stuck. We got lag pops, and then we got wrecked coming through a pit road cycle. And I was worried we were going to go lap down, but thankfully we didn't. And I knew stage three there was a little bit of a mix. Obviously, a little bit of fuel came into play until that final caution came out. But man, I mean, I knew we had a good car. I guess the repetition pays off because we've been now to Talladega 3 days in a row, and I have another race right after this at Talladega. So to be 3 for 3 at Talladega, I feel really, really happy this week. But man, I don't know how we won that. We just got really lucky. We peaked out on LXT, and I thought we had lost. I didn't really think we had a run, but I guess whoever was behind me peaked up, didn't push him, and then almost turned me into him. And we got enough momentum from hitting his door that got us to the end there.
That's all you needed, and what a way to get that win, Timmy. Congratulations, man. We'll see you in a week.
Indeed, thank you so much. And also want to say thank you as well to Bush, Knockout, and also Shotgun and everyone else behind the scenes, as well as you, Rick, for broadcasting these races. Finally glad, too, you could see me in Victory Lane because you didn't get to see me at Dover.
I missed your Dover win, man, but now I'm tuning in 1 for 2. Maybe I'll catch the hat trick victory next week, Timmy.
Thank you.
Fans at home, what a fun night of racing. Everybody knows that I'm in love with super speedway racing, and tonight was no exception. A fantastic night. Thank you to all the fans for coming out. Rock NASCAR 388, Mama Vols, Top Esports, Shotgun was in here. Dr. Bush and Tanner Lockhart were in here as well. Also, Uncle Fry, love you, buddy, miss you. Thank you to everyone who makes all of this happen, especially the good folks over at di9 Designs. In a week's time, we'll have the 7th of 9 rounds of the Farewell Series, but Tuesday night, we'll be back with the OG Modifieds on iRacing right here on Rick James TV. But until then, everybody at home, please stay safe, do take care of each other, and we will see you all